Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. So I read over 150 books this year. Now, as you can imagine, that makes for, I read a whole bunch of different authors this year. But through all of these authors that I read, there were 6 of them who I read more than any other author. And a couple of them wouldn't really surprise many people who stick around this channel or know me as a reader or can take longer than a second's look at my shelves. This is going to be the top 6 of those. There are 6 authors who I read 4 or more of their books. Starting here at number 6, I read 4 books by Gene Wolfe. I read technically the full book of the New Sun, even though, well, Gene Wolfe would say that this is the full book of the New Sun. There is Earth of the New Sun. I haven't read it yet. It's on the potential TBR for January. Look forward to that video next week. This is extraordinary. There are at least 4 or 5 or 6 books further in the full solar cycle, sun cycle, some solar cycle, I think it is. Each and every one of these is top notch. I love these. Not only is this top author as far as numbers go, but this is a new favorite author for sure. Coming in here at number 5 on my most read authors, I read 7 Glenn cookbooks. I read the first 2 trilogies, so the first 2 big omnibus versions of The Black Company. Absolutely loved them. They're gorgeous. I'm halfway through them, so I've still got another 2 of those to go. And I read the very first Garrett P.I. book. I have here the omnibus with the first 3. This seems kind of like Glenn Cook does Dresden Files. If Glenn Cook did Dresden Files, I'm assuming that's how it is because I've never read Dresden Files. Human detective in a fantasy world. If you put Sherlock Holmes into The Black Company, you basically get Garrett P.I. It's gorgeous. I fully expect to be reading a good amount of Glenn Cook next year. I have a whole shit ton of his books. Especially, I've basically got these 2 full series. Coming in at number 4 on my most read authors of 2025 is Terry Pratchett. I read 7 Discworld books this year, soon to be 8. I'm going to be reading Hogfather right before Christmas here in about a week. This is a personal favorite. This is comfort food. I think the best one I read, my favorite one I read this year so far was Monstrous Regiment. It's kind of like Terry Pratchett does Mulan. There's gender bending, girl power type stuff. It's amazing. It's super fun front to back. Moving Pictures is a really good satire of Hollywood in Discworld. I'm on Hogfather coming up now, which is book 4 of the Death series. Other than book 2, they've been kind of just okay. I thought book 2 was really good. But these two were definitely the favorite ones that I've read this year from Terry Pratchett. Coming in at number 3 on my list of most read authors in 2025, would you believe it? I read 13 and a half, I'm calling it and a half, Stephen King books this year. I planned to get through a whole lot more, but then I went all over the place. That's not too bad. I read a good amount every year. Some top ones from the year. I am definitely Wizard and Glass. This is not only my favorite Stephen King book, this is my favorite book. I read it for the second time, June or so, somewhere in there. Right around that same time, I read The Long Walk for the first time. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. I don't need to tell you how much I love Stephen King. You can see it. It's obvious. A lot of my Stephen King reading this year was based around a expanded Dark Tower reread that I'm trying to do, where I threw in The Eyes of the Dragon before Wizard and Glass. After reading Wizard and Glass, I read Salem's Lot, which I was going to slot in before I read Wolves of the Kala again. Somehow I haven't gotten back to Wolves of the Kala, and it's been about a month or 2 now. I thought I was going to be getting there sooner, but I'll have to finish that up later. I want to read Insomnia too. I haven't read Insomnia before, and there's a lot of like direct Dark Tower shit that goes on that I want to try to tie into it. The 0.5 that I'm putting down there, I read The Life of Chuck as like a singleton version. I don't have a copy of it here. When I saw that like the movie was coming out and they came out with a single issue release of The Life of Chuck, which is buried at the moment somewhere in there. It's one of the stories from If It Bleeds, which is fine. Coming in at our number 2, I don't have any copies of because it was I always forget this name, SHUZO OSHIMI, the mangaka who made Blood on the Tracks. 17 volumes of manga. I read them all straight front to back last month. Extraordinary. I couldn't stop. They're so readable that thousands of pages will just wash by, and then next thing you know, you've read 17 volumes of it. I highly suggest everybody to go ahead and check that out. It's quite excellent. And would you believe it? Number 1, Ursula K. Le Guin. I went on an absolute tear of Ursula K. Le Guin books this year. Now that I had the chance, I read damn near her entire Library of America catalog. Plus, she did a Dao De Ching, which infuses a lot of her work. There's a collection of poetry here that is, well, it's the collected works, it's everything. I'm still only about halfway through that, but for the sake of this video, I am counting it. 17 Ursula K. Le Guin books. We have the entirety of the Hainish cycle. We have Annals of the Western Shore, which is a trilogy of kids' books, which are extraordinarily dark. Very dark. Go ahead and look them up. It's almost like Baby's First Grim Dark, almost, but from Ursula K. Le Guin. It's heart-crushing, and wow, it's like super foundational. So yeah, Ursula K. Le Guin absolutely killed it this year. I love it. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad after having all of these books up here, having read them, because there's not a whole ton more of Le Guin's books that I have to collect or have read at this time. I read Earthsea last year, adored it, absolutely adored it. 6 authors that I read more than 4 books of. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I'm thinking maybe I would like to have it as a top 10 next year. It's just a lot of books to read, you know? Alright guys, let me know what you're reading down in the comments. Cheers.